again. That was certainly something. This is going to hopefully be my redemption arc after that awful Total World 3 run, but anyway. This is Info Harry 2. It's a sequel. You can tell it's a sequel because, well,
I'm back.
Thanks, Harry. He's back. Never mind the weirdly misshapen head. This is a little curio that I found mostly thanks to Good Faces Bot. Good Faces Bot came back and posted that screenshot. And I decided, based entirely on that and a 15-second clip from Classics of Game, that I wanted to speedrun this. I'm weird, okay? Anyway. This game's going to have a lot of death in it because it's extremely fast and extremely slippery. Fortunately, you can save anywhere, and I've basically routed my timing, my estimate, and everything such that I'm going to save just before anything that can cause me issues. So there's going to be a lot of saving and a lot of death, but we'll get there. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Good. Oh, by the way, this entire game is like headphone warning, the game. Here's the IBM logo, pretty sure not authorized. So the basic gist of this game is we need to run around the stage, hitting these switches and eventually picking up a key that will let us exit the level. And that's really about it. Every time we hit a switch, we open a bunch of colored, like, walls. And when we pick up the key, we'll be able to go through a special key door that stands in the way of letting us finish the stage. There's small Harry there. I don't know what his gimmick is. As far as damage, you have health over on the right, which is indicated by levens, whatever that is. And you have, not this way. You have hamburgers. Hamburgers give you 1 leven per pickup, as you know, hamburgers are known to do. Most things do 1 damage to you, except for spikes on the floor specifically. Spikes on the ceiling do 1 damage. Spikes on the floor insta-kill you. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp out a save here, just to showcase what that looks like. And now we have to go back to the beginning of the stage and exit. Actually, we need to go up there, do we not? Yeah. There's the end of stage 1. Stage 2. As you can see, now we have to go 2 ways. And one of them we're kind of blocked off from doing right now. This way's yep. Now we need to head down here. This is how most of the game's gonna go. We go all the way to the right, usually. And then we have to come all the way back to the left. There we go. A lot of these really tricky looking jumps I can make more trivial with jump buffering. Basically, if you hold the button down, you just auto jump. You can see how like quick and slippery everything is here. Let me talk about the controls though, since we're talking about things like that. You would think this would be a case of like the D-pad and whatnot. And it's like, no. We don't use no D-pad here. What we do instead, now that I've hit that switch, I now have to go back and get the key. What we do instead is, come on. I am having the most hellacious time getting this. There. Okay. Controls. You move left and right with left and right shift. You jump with control and you shoot with alternate. I kid you not. So you would have to contort your hands into a pretzel to really play this properly. So I have largely resulted to remapping stuff in DOSBox. Now we go over here, we hit this yellow switch that we can now access, which will let us pick up this key here. And now we go all the way back to the right again. Again, this is how most of the levels are going to be laid out, but this is the most egregious one as far as backtracking back and forth. I just wanted that burg. You can't keep me away from hamburger. Unfortunately, this is also the level that leaves me with the least to say. Let's go ahead and actually save here, just because I'm paranoid. Okay, we're good. I did say I was going to save basically anywhere I thought I might have a problem, and that is, unfortunately, a lot of the run. But yeah, just holding the jump button through there makes that kind of trivial to bypass. It looks a lot scarier than it is. The scary mostly comes in the form of having to negotiate trickier jumps later on. There's a key door over on the right. There's nothing over there. However, something of interest, you notice that we're moving in screen increments. Like, the screen doesn't scroll. You just reach the end of the screen, you go to the next one. Well, levels are not necessarily a full screen increment wide. So you can end up in situations where actually scrolling the screen to the end has value to let you like manipulate where exactly the camera is and where the screen transition boundaries are. That becomes relevant in the next stage, I believe. Grab a couple of burgers, move to the right. Hold the shoot button down to blast some ghosts. Oh no. Okay. So if you die and you don't have a save in the same stage, you just get sent back to the beginning of the stage. Fun fact, because I don't read Dutch, I didn't realize for a long time that the two options in the menu were save game and load game. So the first time I finished this game, I actually finished it without saves, which is hell, let me tell you. Don't recommend it. Okay, whatever. Let's go ahead and stamp down a save here, so I don't do that again. See, saving is the best way to guarantee you'll actually successfully do the thing that you're worried about. Because it makes the save moot, right? But if you don't save, you'll fail it every time. That's how it works. Now we jump over Burger Mountain. Ghosts will happily follow you through like screen transitions as well. Okay. Open that door, go right. Need that switch up there. I love the car alarm when you when you open switches or hit switches. So I've gone all the way to the right here to realign where the screen transition happens by one block. That will make navigating back a little bit easier. Go ahead and save again. Like, the value proposition on saving frequently is, even in a speedrun, is pretty good. Now our mission is to head all the way back over here. Where we've opened the switches on the far... Or yeah, opened the door here on the far left. This is the cave, the only level with a unique tile set. I don't know why. I like it though, it's neat. I have crashed this game a couple of times, which is another reason why I save so often. It's definitely kind of crusty. Since we're pretty deep in the mechanics at this point, a little bit of lore about this. This is Info Harry 2. There is indeed an Info Harry 1. Both games were developed by a company called id Software, not id like the makers of Quake and Doom, but id, I-D-E-E. Their main claim to fame, as I understand it, is developing a game called Actiball, which is something that actually gained a little bit of popularity in Europe. Not so much in the States. Okay. We're gonna face tank through that. Actiball is a weird gravity-based load runner clone, kind of, sort of, but not really. And, you know, they did... I need to go up there. They did a pretty good job with that. And then they wanted to make other games like that, so they made Info Harry 1, which is pretty much a clone of Actiball's engine. But with Info Harry, who is this guy. And it was a very opinionated computer tech opinion art piece where you're like fighting IBM and Microsoft, you know, the usual stuff that nerds from this era did to express their disdain for certain large monopolistic companies. And that key. And yeah, that was an Actiball clone. And then they made this, Info Harry 2, which is this run and gun. And they took a lot of the tech salt out. Like, yeah, you start the game in an office building with the IBM logo in it. But, like, the storyline of the original Info Harry is like you're trying to stop Microsoft from taking over the world. And the storyline of this is like some mad scientist has like started cloning people. And the European Commission just wants to stop that behavior. That's it. Anyway, that's the end of stage 4. Here's 5. So they dispatch Info Harry to murder the scientist. That's like the entire plot of this game. Why you end up in hell in episode 2, I don't know. Which, speaking of which, if you go down there, you soft lock, by the way. We don't want to do that. I'm sweating my health a little bit. Anyway, episode 2 and 3. As you can see from the overlay, the category here is episode 1. I would run the others. This is actually a pretty short run that I could probably get down to a handful of minutes. Like 15 minutes with a lot of polishing. I would run episode 2 and 3 if they existed, we'll say. And it's not that they never existed. To my knowledge, this was released as a shareware title, with the tradition of, you know, episode 1 is free and then you gotta pay. At some point, another entity, and I don't remember the name of that entity at this point, it's been a little while since I researched this, but another entity packaged up episode 1 from the shareware version, removed all the shareware, like, buy me stuff, packaged it with a new outro message saying, hey, this is freeware now, and distributed it. If they had the right or authorization to do that, I don't know. This is also the worst jump in the game. Yeah. We'll give this a couple of tries. There we go. You can see what's going to happen here when I hit this blue switch, by the way. Get used to that. That's going to happen again later. Far worse. But anyway, since they liberated the shareware version and handed it out, it's only episode 1. And their documentation flat out says, hey, we don't have episodes 2 and 3. Where they went, I don't know. Okay, so we need to go over here. I want to clear this out before we start playing with this here. There we go. Now we have to jump our way out with these awful jump physics. It's all good. I want that berg, but getting that berg will just result in like hitting my head in the spike and immediately losing the health, so we're not going to do that. And now we need to navigate these awful jumps. So if it were just a matter of the shareware version is the only version we have and the other chapters just are lost media, that would be the end of the story and it wouldn't even be all that interesting. What makes it even more interesting is id Software made their own, or made another version of the game, and it's called Chaos. Chaos has the exact same chapter 1 with the exact same levels, but with different sprites, different main character, different enemies. Let's just go over. It's all exactly the same level layout though in chapter 1, and I thought, hey, I wonder if episodes 2 and 3 for Chaos are the same as episodes 2 and 3 for Info Harry. They're not. There's screenshots and information on chapters 2 and 3 for Info Harry. They're not the same. It's just chapter 1 that's identical in Chaos. So it does seem that well and truly, at least so far, episodes 2 and 3 for Info Harry are lost media. By the way, surprise, you're dead. You actually can't avoid that death, even if you hold left from spawning in. For some reason, just the input doesn't take until you die once, which kind of sucks because it resets your health. I have to traverse this like 4 times, so I want to like carefully take all these out. Anyway. Am I sure this is running at the right speed? Yes, I am sure this is running at the right speed. I did a lot of experimentation. I actually handed this out for a bad video game race over on the Cusa Grande channel. I did a lot of experimentation with trying to find like the speed where it behaved. It runs like this right up until your cycle count hits the point where sprites stop rendering properly. So yes, I'm sure this is the correct speed. I didn't take you 2 out? Okay. By the way, you know you're in the final stage of the game when the stage spells out Info Harry? Oh crap. Well, where did I save? Here. Okay, we're fine. I was actually smart about it. I can keep dropping the cycle count as much as I want to try to make it run slower, but before it starts running any slower, it begins missing sprite renders and inputs, and it actually makes the gameplay worse. This is about as well as I could get it. But yeah, this spells out Info Harry. It's kind of hard to, wow, kind of hard to read. All right, let's try the other strat for getting over that, where I don't trust my ability to do a 1-frame tap. There. Crap. Grab the extra birds. And now I usually save when I cross that threshold at the start of the level. Just for the sake of having a save. Now, we saw the Info Harry text. Here's the id Software text. Okay, we need that switch, but obviously we've got some work to go to get it. This is a little nasty. It's a jump across a screen transition, and there is just enough delay in the screen transition that it's really hard to account for how long you've held down right on the D-pad, or I guess in this case, right shift. There we go. Hopefully y'all are not tired of the gunshot sounds yet. If you are, we're almost done. Okay. But yeah, it definitely does seem like it's running way too fast. Trust me, I know. Let's try doing this without realigning the transition boundaries, because I kind of like where they are for moving back to the left. It's a matter of preference. So this is the worst switch in the game coming up, and you'll see why. That's why. So the way I usually handle this is to just hold left while picking it up and try to shoot past it. I get it about 1 time out of every 3. There we go. And then I screw up. That's alright. We have saves and a large estimate. Heck. I'm gonna save after getting the yellow switch this time. Just so we don't have to deal with that again. There's a couple of ways you can handle that. I have found I have the most success with just running through the switch and then letting inertia carry me over the spikes. Anyway, if anyone can find a series of settings that makes this game actually behave sanely, I would love to hear it. I have not been able to. That, and then we need to not do that. I want these burgers too, actually. Okay, let's go ahead and save. Probably one of the last saves of the run, because this is the final stage after all. We need that. Now we go back across the info Harry. I've picked up all the burgers here, but I've also killed all the enemies, so you know, it's a kind of a zero-sum trade there. Well, I lied. I want this last bit to be clean. Whoops. I say as I immediately die. Oh, right, I am mistaken. This is not the last stage of the run. This is. Don't load. Yeah, here we go. This is the final stage of the run. I totally missed my, like, lost count of how many stages I had done. You can tell I'm with it tonight. If you go down and hit that red switch, or for that matter, do this, you're soft locked. Restart level. Let's try. Real rude game. We're still on pace to make estimate though. It's all good. With these like settings and everything, the game is practically a Kaizo game. So I gave a pretty wide estimate. So yeah, if you hit that red switch, those red floor tiles open, and you can't get back across this gap. So you have to go left, pick up the key, hit one switch, I'm sorry, pick up the key, don't hit the switch, and then come back, go all the way to the right, do what you're gonna do on the right, and then come back and hit the red switch and then go on to finish the level. And this is something you just don't know the first time you try to do all this, so you're gonna get caught by that once. Unless you're really observant and just happen to notice that, hey, I passed red tiles on the way here, and they form a floor that I kind of need to get back. Right. This is another one of those nasty screen transition things. I consider this stage a little bit of a break versus prior stuff, but not much of one. This is just... Normally you just hold right and jump on the D-pad and let Jesus take the wheel, but Jesus drove me into a ditch that time. Or at least almost did. I managed to go all the way through here without hitting that yellow switch. You can't do that on the way back though, as you can see. Carefully negotiate that. We should be about to wrap this up. We just head back to the left and wrap the run up. This was a little scuffed. I died a few more times than I usually do, but all in all, this is kind of how a normal run of this goes. And again, if someone does come across better settings than what I have that makes the game actually playable, I'd be curious to see. I'm saving. This one spike will kill me if I don't. Anyway, that's time. This basically just says you stop the scientist and now you're going to hell or something like that. Again, episode 2 doesn't seem to exist. It's lost media. If anyone out there actually has their hands on Info Harry episode 2 and 3, I want to see it. Hit me up. Like, join the BBG Discord and at me like, hey, I have the rest of Info Harry, because we don't... It's not preserved at the moment. And I'm a bit of a preservationist. I would like to see that, like, played and saved. Anyway, that's Info Harry 2. Enjoy the haha and the gunshots running through your head for the rest of the marathon. That's the last run for me. I don't think I even have any more commentary, so I guess that's it for me for the rest of the marathon. It's been a blast. I had 4 runs and I just absolutely beefed only one. I'll take it. 75% is a strong C, I think. Anyway.